Okay, so triplet strums. Now, this is a very common ukulele strumming technique which really helps add a bit of spice, a little bit of razzmatazz to your playing. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to show you some fun accenting exercises as well. So come with me, mother pluckers, let's get going. So let's start with the triplet strum technique first of all. What you're going to do is you're going to take your strumming hand and you're going to make an L shape with your index finger and your thumb. Now this strum is going to happen in 3 parts. Let me demonstrate for you first of all. Triplet, triplet, triplet. So we're sticking to that L shape. This is in 3 parts. Part number 1 is a down strum with your index finger, keeping that L shape. And don't be afraid to really chuck it down. Part number 2 is a down strum with the soft part of your thumb. And part number 3 is an upstroke with the soft part of your first finger again. So all together it's like this. Part 1, downstroke with your first finger. Part 2, downstroke with the soft part of your thumb. Part 3, upstroke with that first finger. Triplet, triplet. And the idea is that once you're used to the motion, you should be able to repeat it over and over again. Okay, this is a really fun thing just to practice whilst you're watching TV or something, and just try and passively get used to the motion so that the muscle memory builds in your hand. Got it? Good. Now the fun part, the razzmatazz, the little spice to your playing. What we're going to do is I'm going to take you through some exercises on accents. Now an accent in music is basically when you make something stand out a bit more. So if I play a triplet and they're all the same volume, it's all right, but it's not too exciting. When you add accents, you're obviously making one of those beats, one of those strums stick out a bit more, and then that gives it a character, a spice, a little bit of razzmatazz. So if I accent the first one, I strum it a lot harder and it comes out more. That's a very strong beat. Okay, so let's take you through the exercises. Hey mother pluckers, I hope you're enjoying this tutorial so far. And if you want the sheet music for this lesson, you can find that at the link below to my Patreon page. Now if you become a patron of mine, first of all, you'll be an absolute legend. Secondly, you'll get to vote on upcoming videos and tutorials. You'll get sheet music for all of the lessons I make, as well as much more exclusive content, including access to all of the music I make, YouTube original, everything. One-to-ones, all of this stuff. It's great. Anyway, back to the lesson. Exercise number 1 is we're going to mute our left hand on the fretboard, so we're not strumming any chords yet, and we're going to accent the first stroke of the triplet strum. So it's the downstroke with our first finger. It's going to sound like this. And really focus on making that first stroke louder and making the other strokes quieter so that it really pops out and stands out. And then once you're comfortable, you can build up the speed. Exercise number 2, you guessed it, we're going to accent the second stroke, so the downstroke with our thumb. Now this is going to sound really disjointed, and it's probably what I think is the most difficult one to comprehend, because you're not accenting a strong beat, you're accenting a weaker beat. So it's going to sound like this. So it's really disjointed and a bit weird. It does have its uses, but it's really good for your brain training, this one. So really focus on 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... What am I doing? Exercise number 3, you guessed it, we're going to accent the final stroke, the upstroke of that first finger. Now this one again is a slightly stronger beat, so it's a bit easier to comprehend, but still a bit jazzier than that first one. So with those 3 exercises, once you're comfortable with each of those, what you can do is you can then combine them, or you can do them one after the other. So this next exercise, we're going to do a bar of accenting the first stroke, then a bar of accenting the second stroke, then a bar of accenting the third stroke, one after the other. It's going to sound like this. All right, give it a go. Okay, that can take a while, but it's really good for building the coordination, the muscle memory, the dexterity, all of those things. Start slow and build up the speed. And then a little extension exercise, if you want, is to then start doing it randomly wherever you want. Okay, so you can combine the first accent, the third accent in whatever random order you want. Something that sounds like this, maybe, for example. And you start building grooves, and you can start experimenting, and hopefully it might add a little bit of, again, pizzazz to your playing style. Okay, so the next round of exercises, we're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to incorporate some chords, okay? Now I'm going to use a C minor chord as an example. This is where you bar your entire finger over the 3rd fret of your ukulele, and then you put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and if you want, you can use your middle finger to support that first finger as well. That should sound like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of those exercises again with the muting, but then on the accent, you're going to squeeze a chord. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. Let me give you a first example here. So what we're doing is on the accented beat, we're pushing the chord down and we're playing it. And then as soon as the other strums start, we are releasing for that lovely left-handed mute. You can leave your fingers in the C minor chord position, but you just ever so slightly raise them off the string so that it's muted. So this first exercise, we're going to accent those first beats again. It's going to sound like this. So accenting that down stroke and squeezing with that left hand. 1 and a 2 and a triplet, triplet. Accent the first, accent the first. What am I doing? I don't know. Okay, next up we have, again, same concept, but we're going to accent the second strum now. And again, squeezing the chord on the left hand. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. And you guessed it, the next one along, we are accenting the upstroke, so the very 3rd stroke. Got it? Good. Okay, now like the last bunch we did, you're going to do them in a row again. So we're going to do accenting the first, then the second, then the third, all in a row. It's going to sound like this. Hey, sounds pretty cool, right? This is a great exercise, great for warming up, great for muscle memory, and just generally making you a much more awesome, badass mother plucker, okay? Because then you can get more confident with it, build up the speed. Yeah. And then, like I said with the last one, once you're more comfortable with it, start putting them in randomly and playing with those triplet strums. So there you go, folks. There are those triplet accenting exercises for you. Thanks very, very much for watching. Remember, you can get sheet music for these lessons on my Patreon page. The links of those are down below in the description. Make sure you're subscribed as well so that you never miss a future tutorial, and I will see you next time. Oh!